And welcome back to Donk and Dreamy. I'm Donk.
This is Dreamy.
And our real names are Spencer and Jordan, respectively. And we're just two Broncos fans who, I only have one word. That word is actually, no, I have three words. Three words.
Three words, okay.
Three words. Lack of surprise.
I feel so bad for our defense, and I feel so bad for Javonte Williams, who put on a clinic in Kansas City.
Right.
Besides those two things, there's not a whole lot of and I'm going to be as dreamy as I can about that game, but there wasn't a whole lot going on besides those two things.
Hey, Jordan.
Oh, who is this now?
Hey, Jordan. It's me, Patrick Mahomes. I don't want to interrupt too long because I know you don't want to hear me, but I just wanted to invite you to watch my new show. It's the Mahomes and Williams Friday Hour, starring me, Patrick Mahomes, and Javonte Williams. Figured, that's really what two guys people get talk about. So,
is this Patrick Mahomes or Kermit the Frog?
What's the difference, Rabbit? I'll let you guys get back to your thing. Sorry for hurting your team. See you in a few weeks, guys.
Spencer, have the Broncos broken you that bad that we had to resort to Kermit the Frog?
Look, I am sorry for Lazy Mahomes' impression. I'm also not sorry because everyone else does a Lazy Mahomes impression. So if you want me to stop, then get better. I mean, I think it does pains us as Broncos fans to say this, but the man has earned the respect for you to put some effort into impersonating his voice. I'm not doing it out of laziness. I'm doing it out of lack of talent.
Lack of talent. Got it. Okay.
Lazy Mahomes' impression is just branding.
So you want to go ahead and take this Lazy Mahomes on the road? Is this going to be like a new concept for the Donk and Dreamy show?
like a side character.
Like a side character.
You could even have him as a guest.
As a guest.
Just have an interview with him. Can
you even do that particular voice for about 30, 45, however long this particular episode does?
Dude,
I'm about to say.
Surprisingly, it actually does hurt my voice quite a bit. But let's get back to the second half of that duo, Javonte Williams, which, as you said, put on an absolute clinic. Like, earlier in this season, I felt like, saying that Javonte Williams is going to be a top 10 or even a top 5 running back in the league once he hits his prime. I feel like if you had come out and publicly said this, people would have called you crazy because they didn't really see the guy play. But now, everybody, you go to the fantasy football community and people are talking about this guy being a first-round pick next year if we don't re-sign Melvin Gordon. I mean, even Tyrann Mathieu in his post-game interview, they asked him about Javonte Williams. He said, basically, guy's a bowling ball. He's going to be a real problem for the next few years while he's still young and got his knees.
He is a problem.
He already is a problem.
I mean, when we were watching the game, this man, literally, you could not take him down the first tackle. The first tackle attempt was like Javonte was like, get off me, get off my back. And basically he was as we had pointed out, he was trying so hard to carry the team on his back. You could see him fighting for every yard. Mm-hmm. You could see him fighting for every first down. And there came a point in the game where you can't necessarily use Javonte all the time because then Kansas City is going to figure out they're going to play run defense. And when we tried other things weren't working.
I don't know if you can figure out Javonte because usually with a running back, you just tackle him.
That's the problem
with Javonte. This dude ran, so he got 178 total yards off of 23 carries, 6 receptions. Just good grief!
That's amazing.
Like, if I have a number 5 pick in my fantasy draft next season, we don't have Melvin Gordon, I'm 100% taking Javonte Williams.
I don't blame you.
That's about. We'll see how all the other top 5 running backs shake out, but I mean, that puts him in that echelon. Just good, gosh, man. That's why I think we should sign Melvin Gordon personally.
I mean, I believe we need to go ahead and sign both Melvin Gordon and Javonte Williams. I do believe both of them do serve their own purposes within this offense. And, we could talk all we want to about Javonte Williams. However, if we're going to do a full recap of this game, unfortunately, and I don't like saying unfortunately because, hey, I'm the dreamy guy, but we have to talk about the remainder of the offense in this game.
Oh, hold on. No, we don't.
But,
because there was also Mike Boone and Quinn Meinerz working together.
Mike Boone.
Pancake. Like, Boone actually looked really good in this game.
I know. He actually had a couple of decent runs. I remember we were like, wait a minute, who's this guy, number 26? And I remember his first run, he was like destroying everybody. Like, whoa.
Right?
Who's this guy?
Yeah, I mean, I can understand people getting frustrated with Javonte not being the lead guy or having to be in basically a timeshare.
Yeah.
And you people have the same frustrations with Derrick Henry and DeMarco Murray on the Titans. The first couple seasons of Derrick Henry's NFL career, he was behind DeMarco Murray, although we used Javonte Williams quite a bit more than the Titans used Derrick Henry.
Sure.
And look what's – I mean, yes, he did recently get injured, but that was after, basically 2 full seasons of dominating the NFL. And I think if the Broncos are smart, that's what we need to do. We need to have somebody not necessarily in front of him, but I have really liked this 50-50 timeshare. I really have for Williams and Gordon, as much as I dislike watching Gordon play, because I know it's better for Williams' longevity. And the longer that dude can play in the NFL, the better, because he is so exciting to watch, not just for us, but for the entire NFL. This is a guy that everybody can root for, and we gotta protect him.
We do. We gotta protect Javonte. If he is the type of back that he is going to be the bruiser kind of back, and the more that you use him in that role, he is. Not to say his durability is in question or anything. It's not that. But, the more that you use him, the more miles, the more wear and tear happens. And as you start to use him during the later part of the season, he may not be as effective. So, to have Javonte kind of do a 50-50 now, depending on how Mike Boone plays, because I do want to see more Mike Boone and see what he's all about. But if we could have Mike because he was kind of playing that same role. Like, you can kind of see he was doing a little bit of bruising himself. So imagine the Broncos having 2 bruiser running backs. Like, that's going to be an absolute – like, no one would have seen that in a while, and that's going to play a huge advantage to our offense moving forward.
I think the reason why Williams and Gordon work so well together is because they're different types of backs. I can see why we would want to go with bruisers all the time, but having variety in your run game, I think can really benefit us, because you have the patience and sort of that elusiveness that Gordon has, and then you just have the straight up you can't bring me down of Williams. That being said, I'm just as excited about a Williams Boone backfield, especially since Boone is in his 4th year in the NFL. So we have that veteran presence. Yeah. And that's what you need for this guy. You need somebody behind him that already knows, kind of the pace in the NFL, is very comfortable in it, even though Williams is already seems to be pretty comfortable in it.
He seems to be doing well.
Yeah. I don't know what's up with their rookie class, man. They have just they've all just come out. Patrick Surtain has looked amazing outside
Gotta pick off Mahomes.
Do you think his so that play when Mahomes ran into the end zone and Surtain just was running to just kind of stop, do you think that was a business decision, What was your take on that play?
I mean, I myself didn't necessarily have a problem with it because I feel like I kind of see that every now and again with all these different quarterback runs. Now, as far as should people be concerned that Pat Surtain didn't make that tackle, I'll again remind everybody he did have a pick in that game, I believe a little bit later into the game. So I don't question his heart and his character and his effort because, like I said, that defense was literally the only thing keeping us in that game. A couple of those particular touchdowns that the Chiefs had, one was because, apparently we had a terrible, I don't know what that punt coverage play was, but we got to go and fix that up. And, of course...
Fire McMahon today, please. Sorry.
Fire McMahon. Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good. And then, of course, we had... Sorensen, yeah, that's his name. Sorensen, taking a pick six and stepping into the end zone and making all of Mile High Country feeling good. So,
yeah, kind of was hoping you wouldn't bring those. I thought you were going to be dreaming here. I thought you were going to ignore.
Listen,
I'm actually trying to stay positive here.
As much as I have to be dreaming, remember, it's like what happened with Von Miller. You just got to rip off the scab. It's gone. You just let it bleed out. And then you go ahead and you heal and you get ready for the next game. So I do have to go ahead and keep it. I have to go ahead and go be myself. And I have to say that the offense was not up to dreamy quality, but that does not mean, it's time to throw the panic button because we're still 6-6. We're still within a wild card spot. And we have, as we'll talk about a little bit later, I do believe an easy game.
Yeah, and I actually think there are actually some reasons to be hopeful coming out of this game, not obviously because of the outcome, but because of the way our rookies played.
Absolutely.
Quinn Meinerz looked awesome. Surtain looked awesome. Williams looked awesome. And I don't know if you saw the camera shots to the suites. But George Payton, he did not look happy.
Oh, he was pissed.
He was pissed. I've seen that look before. It was the look Elway had before he fired Vance Joseph. In fact, Elway has had that same look on his face earlier in the season. I think they're both just waiting the season out to fire Fangio, because they're willing to give him the last year of his contract. But yeah, if you really think that things aren't going to change, then I'm just going to go ahead and say you didn't watch that game, because then you would have seen those shots to the press box or wherever they have the general manager sit, because that is not the look of a man that's just going to let this whole thing happen again next year.
Of course not. I feel that I give George Payton a lot of credit first and foremost. He is the guy that drafted our 7 picks in the 2021 NFL draft. And the more that we praise his rookie class, the better, right? Now, with all that being said, let's go ahead and let's go back to present circumstance before we talk about the firing of Vic Fangio, right? 6-6. So here's my dreamy perspective, because I know you're missing it, Donk. 6-6. Still in the mix for a wild card. And again, this particular schedule, now we get a little bit of a break, if you will, next week. And then, of course, we're going to have some, I would say, relatively tougher games. And so this is where Vic Fangio needs to go ahead and prove himself to be the coach that's going to stay with this team next year. Again, if we can go ahead and we win out this schedule, we beat our divisional opponents like we are supposed to, then at that point, we still control our own destiny at this point. There's no need to go ahead and say we've lost this season. I don't believe that is right now in the cards. We still have the idea and the objective, especially because we know we could beat Los Angeles. And of course, we'll have to go to Las Vegas, play the Raiders, but the Chiefs, who, there are some good positive things I can't take about that game. They come to our place. And so that particular outcome might potentially be a little bit different. But as far as that pissed off George Payton face, I like seeing that, especially because that means that he cares about this team. And before we talk about firing, let's go ahead and let's see what happens the rest of the season.
Nah, this sealed Fangio's fate. We should have won this game. We needed to win this game, and we didn't. I mean, you get flexed into prime time, and you embarrass yourselves. That's not going to cut it. But let's go ahead and talk about the next game Fangio is going to coach. We are playing the 1-10-1 Detroit Lions. Congrats, guys, on getting the win against the Vikings.
LOL Vikings fans. Just kidding.
Yeah, trust me, those people know pain. They actually saw this coming. But yeah, I mean, I think it's fair to say we both see this as an easy game. Although, of course, I would not be surprised if we lost.
Let's not put that energy out there.
But the thing is, as you know, if our offense, comes out and actually plays well, then yeah, sure, we'll win this game. But even if our offense plays terribly, we also have to keep in mind that our defense, which has absolutely been playing lights out, is going up against Jared Goff, the guy who throws it away on fourth down. I mean, this guy got figured out years ago. You just have to disguise your coverage, and then you can change it as soon as the mic goes out, even though he doesn't have Sean McVay to do that, to read defenses for him anyways. I mean, we can just confuse the heck out of him, and I expect a lot of turnovers in this game, either on downs or through interceptions. So I feel comfortable saying that we're going to win this game, but let's just keep in mind the weirdo, wacky 50-50 team we have in this weirdo, wacky conference where teams have come out looking like they're going to win the Super Bowl one week, and then the next week coming out and losing to the Jaguars and the Jets and the Texans.
Well, I can definitely say that's not the Denver Broncos. We have not lost to the Jaguars nor the Jets, thankfully, and we don't play the Texans this year, so I can't answer that question for you. Now, the Detroit Lions, right? First off, once again, congratulations, Detroit. You are not going to go ahead and be like your 2008 ancestors where you went 0-16. Thank God we don't need another one of those for you. You poor, suffering fan base. Y'all deserve a special place in football heaven. Now for this game. Here's the thing. Our defense, as you said, stellar, absolutely beautiful. Like, we held the best quarterback in the planet, in my opinion, because like I said, 7 we gave up on an offense. And then the next touchdown, I believe, was given up because, we forgot the special teams on one particular drive, right? So we literally held Patrick Mahomes to, and to be fair, I would say about 9-10 points, realistically, even though that's not actually what happened on the scoreboard, right? So understanding that and understanding that Jared Goff is not a Patrick Mahomes, I do believe that the Broncos can easily win this game, even despite our offensive troubles. I do believe our defense can go ahead and take care of business with Goff and said company. However, with that being said, we have both pointed out that this has been a wacky Broncos season where we've said that opponents we should absolutely smack have smacked us a little bit back and all that good stuff. So I do believe ultimately Denver will win this particular game. I don't believe it's going to be as close as some of the other games I've called out. I do believe Denver wins this game by a final score of about 28-10. 28-10.
I actually would think a larger margin than that, honestly.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
28-3, 28-9 even.
I mean, I'm accounting for the Jared Goff. You got a touchdown because it was garbage time.
Like we might even be able to drop 31 on these guys. But
all right. 28's fine. Yeah, I love that optimism though. That's certainly a little not the Donk type.
It's the Lions. I feel like I'm allowed to be optimistic against the Lions. Sorry,
we should
Lions
be.
Fans, you guys.
We should be. And like I said, Detroit Lions fans, special place in heaven. That's there for you. Don't worry.
Yep, agreed.
Absolutely.
You guys don't deserve to be 1-11-1. Although I do love the palindrome. Yeah, palindrome record. We got a palindrome record. It's not great, not awesome, but it's It's better than a non-palindrome record, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, at this point, I think what's unfortunate is that every time Detroit wins, it feels like it is their Super Bowl with how their franchise record has been for however long it's been. So I just feel sad for him. I got like a void in my heart whenever I have to talk about the Lions because it's like I don't want to talk bad about you guys. You're like I don't know. You're like the little ragtag thing that
the little brother.
Yeah,
the little brother of the NFL.
The little
little brother that's been around since the 60s.
I mean, they won an NFL championship back when the Super Bowl wasn't a thing.
Those don't count.
But yeah, those don't count, right?
Yeah, sorry, don't count, buddies. All right, so we got some time left. We are recording on a Wednesday because we're bad at our dream jobs.
Of course, right?
I don't know how to describe this. It's not a report. It's basically a glorified rumor.
Okay.
But supposedly, and I know this isn't something we should be talking about during the season, but it's either keep dwelling on the Chiefs game or talk way longer than necessary about the Lions game. So we're talking about this.
And the less we have to talk about Sunday night, the better, right?
Yeah,
folks?
Right. So supposedly, if the Seahawks were to trade Russell Wilson, which keep in mind they were rumored to be trading him last season, spoiler, didn't happen, he would waive his no trade clause for 3 teams.
Okay.
The Saints, the New York Giants, the one with the G, not the Jets. Jordan heard me say Jets when we were rehearsing, and the Broncos.
Okay.
Now, personally, I think it would be really, really weird to see Russell Wilson in Broncos uniform, considering what he did to us. And
we don't have to. Really,
it's okay. It's
really
okay.
Don't have to talk
it's okay.
About that.
We won 2 years later. We
really
can talk about it. We can talk about it.
Do we have to, though?
It's fine.
Are you sure? Are you sure it's okay to talk
about it?
Well,
we're not going to do an analysis on it.
I don't know about you, but I still feel
Can we please
traumatized.
acknowledge that makes the whole thing awkward if he gets traded to us?
See,
great quarterback. I want him, but that's going to be an albatross over our relationship.
Maybe, but let me go ahead and bring it to you like this.
Okay.
We had Joe Flacco on our team that Mile High miracled us, and we had Peyton Manning on our team that actually beat the Broncos back in the early. I know you don't remember those days, Spencer, because I am the grizzled Broncos fan veteran, right? But I do remember when Peyton Manning kicked our ass in the playoffs. So, I guess I cursed. Sorry, kids.
But, I mean, Flacco isn't near the quarterback. Russell Wilson is, in my opinion.
No, absolutely not.
But yeah, that is a good point, actually. And it was really weird seeing Flacco in a Broncos uniform, mainly because I was like, what? This dude just got benched for a rookie. Why did we trade for him? This is the dumbest thing we've ever done. And spoiler alert, it was not the dumbest thing we ever did, but certainly on the list.
Certainly.
And, I find this really interesting because of those 3 destinations, this seems geared to us specifically because you have the Giants and the Saints, which are in the NFC. You have the Giants, which really the only reason he'd want to go there is the media market. If he and his wife went to go and be more celebrities than whatever their actual jobs are, then sure. The Saints, they had Jameis Winston. He's playing really well. He just got injured. I honestly think they extend him. And
what's crazy though is that we talked about Jameis potentially coming to Denver too. So there's that kind of connection there.
Yeah, I guess. But then you have us, where people agree that really the only thing we're missing is a quarterback. If we had Russell Wilson in that game instead of Teddy Bridgewater, we 100% win that game.
I'm not going to argue that.
And, you give him an awesome running back. You give him an offensive line that's playing pretty well. by
absolutely
NFL standards.
Well, it's better than what he has in Seattle.
Yeah, and then you have that receiving core, which the Giants have some potential in their core, but not a whole lot. The Saints, they have Michael Thomas, and then
Seattle has a good.
They have Metcalf and Lockett. They have Metcalf and Lockett, and that's pretty much it. And then Will Dissly at tight end. But we just locked up Cortland Sutton. We just locked up Tim Patrick. We are probably going to lock up Jerry Jeudy at some point here in a few years. We also have KJ Hamler on his rookie contract. I imagine we lock up Kendall Hinton, or at least let him test free agency. But
I don't know.
Take one of those guys out, and that's better than what Seattle has. It blows what New Orleans has out of the water. I'm sorry. We don't even know if Michael Thomas is going to come back to his same old form. If he does come back, he may never play another NFL snap again. He may make up some BS about a helmet like AB did. And even then, again, who do they have behind him? Nobody as good as Jeudy or Hamler, in my opinion. No. And then the Giants have Galladay, who has not been producing.
Sterling Sharp is still on that team, if I'm not mistaken. Sterling Sharp?
Sterling Shepard.
Shepard.
I don't think so. Sterling Shepard.
I thought he was still on the team. I'm trying to figure out what other wide receivers the Giants have.
He is actually, yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
I mean, you have Saquon Barkley too, but Saquon always kind of gets injured though.
Yeah, and they haven't really been using him pretty well. But yeah, ever since his first injury, he hasn't really been the same. But that's what I'm talking about. All those teams have major flaws that don't involve the quarterback. Whereas ours, the only flaw really is the quarterback and potentially coaching.
Potentially,
yeah. So, I mean, I think it makes the most sense for Wilson to come to us. But that's if he even wants to get traded in the first place, and if Seattle's willing to entertain an offer in the first place. And even then, it's probably going to cost us.
It's going to cost us a penny to get.
We may have to. I don't know how open Seattle will be to this, but we may have to extend Bridgewater and then trade him along with 2 firsts and a third for him, something like that. I'm not a GM, obviously. I'm not great at fantasy trades, but to me, that's where you can kind of start the conversation.
I will say this, right? If Wilson wants to be a Bronco, I feel actually a bit more optimistic about him doing well in Denver compared to Aaron Rodgers. Now, I am not disparaging Aaron Rodgers. I think he is one of the best quarterbacks I've ever seen in my life. All right, so I give full respect to Mr. Rodgers. But Mr. Rodgers is about 38 or 39. Russell, if I remember correctly, is only in his early 30s, like 30, 31, 32. So we'd actually go ahead. 33? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, so about 5 years younger than Aaron Rodgers. So we would have, if we wanted to go ahead and ride him, a considerable amount of time because, apparently quarterbacks nowadays are playing until they're 45, 46. Go ask Tom Brady down in Tampa Bay, right? So I would actually be okay with this trade. Now, we are going to need to give Seattle a penny for Mr. Wilson because, Russell Wilson is he's one of the, I would say, I'm going to give him top 5, top 6 quarterbacks in the league just off the top of my head. No particular ranking or order necessary. So we're going to need to give Wilson, the Seattle something. I think a first-round draft pick, maybe even one for the next year is going to be something that we do. We're definitely going to need to give up some draft capital. Maybe maybe even take some of Wilson's salary.
Yeah, 100%.
100%. So we're going to need to really play and see just kind of how. And honestly, this all comes down to what happens the rest of the season. Because, I still have faith in this season. Now, I do see us getting to a wild card, even though Sunday night was not particularly great for those chances, right? However, we get some pretty good, decent quarterback play down the stretch. and then we get into the wild card, we start to make a little noise there, then we essentially are in a bit of a pickle at that point in time. So this really is going to need to come down to how Denver finishes the rest of the season. Yeah,
I just don't think we'll get decent quarterback play out Teddy. But, we'll just have to wait and see. Jordan, you got anything else you want to add for the end of the episode?
Well, first and foremost, Broncos country, Mile High Nation, as always. Donk and I appreciate you always viewing our show. Make sure you check us out on Twitter, Donk and Dreamy. And for me,
give us that big old follow.
And I'm going to go ahead and let Donk, because you know what? Your view is already good enough for me. So, Donk, if you want to go ahead and do the whole, that shindig on YouTube, I'll be more than happy to pass the mic to you.
If you're watching us on YouTube, make sure to like that like button. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. Make sure to hit that bell, which should do the same thing. Subscribe button. Leave a comment down below, letting us know how stupid we are. And we'll see you guys next week after we beat the Lions. Hail Peyton!
Go Broncos!